Today's lesson will discuss how to estimate and then divide. Now, we talked about this a little bit in mini lessons, so it's not that difficult once you get to know the process. So it is not using algorithm, it is not using partial quotients, it is just estimating, and it's just should be quick, something that's quick. And you can't really round when you're dividing. I mean, you could, but it's not going to work as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to look for compatible numbers. Remember, compatible, things that go well together. How are they compatible? And so when we're looking at dividing, we're going to look, say, at our dividend and divisor, and then finding our quotient. But this isn't their actual quotient, this is an estimate. So more specifically, though, we are going to focus on our divisor. So we're going to focus on our divisor here. The first thing we're going to do is write all our multiples of 6 up to 10-ish. And I did my multiples up to 10. So I actually made this one a little bit more difficult, and you aren't going to really come across anything this on your test, but if you did come across something, I wanted you to be aware of it. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the first two digits of the dividend. First two digits. This one, okay, and we're going to bring this down, okay? First two digits, 76. And we look for our multiples of 6 to see if we've come across any multiple of 6 that's close to 76. Now 76 is larger than 6, so we're going to continue on till we get to 76, or a multiple close to 76. So we go to 66, 72, and then 70, 78. Now notice I went beyond that number because I want to see it can actually be larger. So I want to see, we find that 76 is between 72 and 78. So is 76 closer to 78, or is it closer to 72? Now when we do algorithm, we don't go to the one that's larger. We go to the one that's below when we're finding multiples of 6. But with estimating, it is whichever multiple of the divisor is closest. So with 72 is 4 away from 76. 78 is 2 away. So 78 is actually closer. 76 will round to 72. Now that sounds weird to round to, 78, sorry. So it sounds weird to round to a number that's not a 0 or 5, but that's just how division works. The 9, just like in any other rounding, everything to the right of what we have rounded becomes a 0. So the 9 becomes a 0. And so then we have our division problem. 780 divided by 6 equals our quotient, and this is our estimating. So now 78, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 78 divided by 6 is 13. And the way this works, this pattern, 0 divided by 6, anything divided by 0 divided by anything is going to be 0. So we have a 0 in our divisor, our dividend. A 0 in our dividend, so then we're going to have a 0 in our quotient. All right, so that's kind of how it works. Pretty simple. It was pretty quick once we get to it. The hardest part is writing all your multiples to the side. So let's go ahead and try this one. Okay, so I set it up. I have my dividend and then my divisor. I went ahead and wrote my multiples of my divisor, which is 5, up to 10 times. And so now I'm going to look at the first two, 54. All right, so I'm going to look at the 54. Even though this is in thousands place, we can still do this. So 54 is larger than 50, so I'm going to go to my next multiple of 5, just so I can find one that is between. And I can see that 55 is between 50 and 50, or 54 is between 50 and 55. So what is it closer to, 50 or 55? Well, it's 1 away from 55, and it is 4 away from 50. So I'm going to say it's closer. It's actually closer to 55. So I'm going to put 55 here, and I keep my comma. And then everything to the right of what I'm rounding right here, everything to the right is going to become zeros. Okay? So boom. So now I have 5,500 divided by 5. Now, is this going to be exact? No, but the point of estimating is finding a quick answer. So 55 divided by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is 11. And then 0 divided by 5 is 0. Boom, take care of that 0. 0 divided by 5 is 0. Boom, take care of that 0. And then I need to put my comma. So my quick answer, 5,500 divided by 5 is 1,100. So if I was to round this, I'm going to find the compatible number, which is 55. So it's 5,500, and then divided by 5. Pretty simple. So what I want you to do is to look at these. You have your dividend here, and then your divisor. You have a 3-digit number and a 4-digit number. I want you to go ahead, pause the video. I want to see if you can solve both of these using estimation. So estimate and then to solve, so you can find your quotient, a quick quotient, an estimate. Not the exact, not the actual answer, but the estimate. Alright, so pause it and then you solve it. So if you solve the first one and the second one, great. Now, if you haven't paused it, pause it and solve it. So first thing I did is wrote my multiples of my divisor, 9 up to 10, and then I looked at the first two and I said, oh wait, 92 is larger than 10 times 9, or 90, and so I went one more. So 92 falls right here. So since it falls right there, I'm going to look and I say, is it closer to 90 or is it closer to 99? And in this case, it's 2 away from 90 and 7 away from 99. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to round this to 90. Just like rounding or using compatible numbers. I'm going to estimate, use compatible numbers. Now I did 90. I already have 1 0. Do I still need to put this into a 0? Of course. Okay, so 90 divided by 9. Now in this case, some people might automatically put their zeros first. No, you don't want to put your zeros first. You want to, when you're dividing, you want to use divide first. So we're looking at 90. So this is where it might trip you up. We have 90. 90 divided by 9 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 10. Right? 90 divided by 9 is 10. And then we have this 0. We didn't do anything with this 0, so we're going to use this 0. 0 divided by 9 is 0. Okay? So you're going to transfer these over second. So 0 divided by 0. So we did this first, and then we did this problem second. So 90 divided by 9 is 10. 0 divided by 9 is 0. All right? So that's kind of how that works. Yeah. All right, so now let's look at this one. Okay, last one, and you should have solved this one by yourself, hopefully. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is look at the first two, and notice, and then I did all my multiples of 8 up to 10. Notice that this one, these first two, are less than that. So this is what most of your problems are going to look like when you're rounding. But just so you know, I wanted you to be able to figure out what to do if they were larger than 10 times your divisor. Okay, so let's say 43. 43, which multiple of 8 is closest to 43? If we look, 43 is between 40 and 48. So it falls right there. It is 3 away from 40 and 5 away from 48. So which is it closer to? It's closer to 40. So in this case, it is actually 0. Alright, so we're going to bring these down. The 6 and the 7 become a 0, just like in all other rounding. Make sure I put my comma. And then I'm going to divide by 8. So 4,367 will, when estimating, we'll move to 44,000. Compatible numbers. Alright, so now we're going to look at these first two first, right? We're going to look at these first two. 40 divided by 8. 40 divided by 8 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and so we took care of 40, so I'm going to mark those off so I don't use them again. 0 divided by 8 is 0. Perfect. 0 divided by 8 is 0. So we have 500. So it helps me to mark them off so I don't actually use them more than one time, because that could be kind of dangerous. Because if you used it too many times, you could end up with 5,000, which would way off, way off. All right, so that's it for that. For your left side, Yes, I said a left side activity. You're going to write 3 different problems. I want you to do a two-digit number divided by a one-digit number and find, estimate, and solve. And then I want you to do a three-digit number divided by a one-digit number and then estimate and divide. And then, of course, the 4-digit. So you're going to write 3 different problems, estimate and solve them. Not too shabby, not too bad. You can do it. I know you can. All right. So a two-digit number divided by a one-digit number and then estimate and solve. Three-digit number divided by a one-digit number, estimate and solve. And then a four-digit number divided by a one-digit number, estimate and solve. Okay, so your divisors, here's a little hint. Your divisors, they can be the same. I'll let them be the same. But what you're rounding, the number in these first 2 spaces, they cannot be the same. All right, that's it. Quick division, estimate, and divide. All right, thanks for watching.